Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How we doing? Hope everybody had a good weekend. I know I definitely did. Got some good R&R over the weekend. Sometimes it's good to just take a little bit of a break. Let everything, get your mind back right. Let all the dust settle. Whatever may be going on in your life. All right, so let's go ahead and get right on into this. Do my quick little sound check. Kind of mixed up my workspace a little bit, so let's see how smoothly this goes. All right, so on the economic for our calendar today, economic outlook, we don't have anything scheduled for today. Tomorrow we have core CPI. Wednesday we have PPI and the crude oil inventories. Thursday, initial jobless claims and the Philly Fed manufacturing index, and then Friday, core retail sales. All right, so pretty much a normal calendar for this week in terms of economic events. Nothing super important sticks out. Let's go ahead and look at this power range. For our NQ future sessions today, we got a high, the power range, we got a high of 14,845 with a low of 14,823 and 3/4. We were trading long up 0.37% when I posted this with a volume of 66K and an ATR of 175.28. See, we still hitting our head up against in the all-time high range. Still messing around with these highs as of right now in relation to the power range in Q. Started out slightly bearish, traded down to PR -2, and then we flipped long, now up to PR +2. So let's see, we hold this kind of a range here. As always, I'll be looking for a pullback, but I'm not, since we are messing around in the all-time high territory, I'm not going to be super aggressive. Maybe this is our high at 882, 882.75, right there where our power range level is. Let me go over here. It's not gonna give me enough information. Flip it to a 15. Just looking out of curiosity right now. I think it looks like the high, or yeah. All right, yep. That looks right. All right, so we're right at the edge of breaking into new all-time highs. So stuff that I'll be keeping in mind as the market opens. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the futures market. I'm just gonna scan through these, kind of like last week. I'm not gonna so ES, interestingly, is bearish of the power range. Just trading more bearish today. Let's look at the rest of the indexes. RTY looks like the same story. YM's the same story. So again, we got NQ where it's doing its own thing on the daily. RTY and YM are still within their ranges that they've been stuck in for a while. YM is at the top of that range, and you see we got ES slowly climbing higher. Let's go ahead and let me check out CL, see what the crude is doing. Also bearish of its power range, currently trading neutral. From a bigger perspective on the daily, just hanging out sideways, trading within a range. And most of these are trading within a range with the exception of NQ and ES. GC also bearish of its power range, currently trading sideways. in the pre-market since the European session. And speaking of European, let's check out their currency. More so neutral, but it is also trading bearish of the power range. Interesting pattern here. We've created this resistance at 18,705, held the resistance, and then we're finally breaking through now, with a few minutes left before the opening bell. Sort of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I call it a W pattern because it looks like a W. This is not the best example of it, but yeah. All right. Okay, so we got a look at the pulse of the futures market so far. NQ is the only one that's trading bullish of its power range. Once again, doing what it wants to do. Doesn't care what the rest of the market is doing. Go back and check my checklist, make sure I got everything checked off. We got 4 minutes. Let's get my last minute notes in here in the journal. That pre-market snapshot. And we are ready to go. Got about a minute and a half before the bell. One last sound check. Starting to see some pullback before the open. Where is my Delta board? Make sure I got that up there. Market notes. Only goal is to trade the strategy to perfection. See the big picture. Making sure I verbalize my focus from the checklist. I got a little battle at the open. Some buyers sitting around 864. Definitely looks like it wants to, they're trying to take price lower, but we do have a sort of a battle going on right now. I'm looking at the pre-market high. We do have a balance level up there at 884. I'm looking at this to see if we break it, and if we do, how we break it. Still seeing the divergence between NQ and ES. So we peaked above that into that all-time high range. Got some sellers trying to short it. Also, those that may have bought in, those buyers that got down here around the 865, 864 level, they're selling into strength, taking profit at that break. ES taking price back to VWAP. VWAP currently sitting for ES. Let's see. Okay, there's the price at 353. Where's our V pop? Okay, so just as I was looking for the V pop for the point of control, it popped up here to 872 or 871. while I am currently looking to take a long position just because how the strategy works, up in this range, I'm not that. I wouldn't be looking for anything big if I did take it. Where in this range that the price is at right now. There is a lot of reasons to expect some sell-off. I am seeing a lot of red on the delta, but we do have buyers still in this market, as you can see in the price action. It's trying to hold that 864 support that we can see in the volume profile. I'm not being as aggressive as I probably should be with the evaluation account just because of the way that this is setting up. I'm going to give myself like one more month with this evaluation account since it just renewed, just to see if I can reach the target within my 1 hour trading window that I have every day. And still have a ways to go to reach that target. And then towards the end of this month, around the 3rd week, we'll see where we stand in terms of this account. We still got buyers. The buyers are still trying to push to take this price higher. Sure, there are some short-term shorters. There's a lot of shorts in one. So those traders that shorted up here when it made its failed attempt to take price higher and to continue to climb into all-time highs. Those that shorted up there could be taking some profit down here, which is also why we could be part of the buying that we're seeing. Continue to see the sell-off again. ES is doing the completely opposite, taking prices higher. Interesting divergence we have this morning. challenges of trading in two accounts. Got a ton of selling off in this one. There's a possibility I could take a loss on this one. Oops. Didn't even get to get a screenshot. Trying to set both of these up. Alright, just took the profit there. Still got the evaluation account trade open. Now we are responding to our indicators and our mechanical levels, but just the way that, the plan for how my strategy works out, I had to go ahead and take the profit. I need to figure out a way to do copy trades to where I can just place the orders in one account and it copies over to the other account. And that little bullish move took me out of the trade and the evaluation account, so just got a couple scalps. It is a nice buying reaction off the power range low. We also got the 200 SMA there. Of course, hindsight capital says I could have held that longer, but got to follow the plan until I change the plan, then give myself a new plan to follow. But that is the plan. So I didn't even mark in the journal where I took the trade. I was trying to set both of those the positions up in both of those accounts, so I might have to go back and hit the replay later to put the notes in there and maybe get the screenshots. That's what I really need to. I can just do the notes without the replay, but I need the replay to get the screenshots, at least for the performance account trade or the evaluation account trade. I'm saying those backwards. Alright, so I am kind of on a slight time restriction this morning. I got stuff to do after I trade this morning, so that's probably gonna be my only trades for the day. Still kind of early. It's only 9:45, but we'll see. Just looking at this price action, the way this is trading. So at this point, just looking at the structure, I'm still looking at this balance level at 832 and a half. We got enough resistance up here to bring us back down to that level. Let's see how long they can keep price above the support range. Still seeing buying at the VWAP. Ton of negative delta on the board. Currently at 22. Volume is not too strong. So far it looks kind of like we're getting the typical volume that we're used to seeing. Right back to the balance level. Still got buyers coming in, or I am still seeing some buying at these levels. Again, we don't 100% know what kind of buying this is. This is buying to enter or buying to exit. Maybe when buying to add to a position or you know, scaled out of a position. It really doesn't matter where the buying is coming from. All that I'm focused on is if I'm seeing buying or selling at these particular levels. So we did have a ton of buying that came in there, pushed the price higher. So it looks like they're trying to hold this range. But sellers are definitely trying to push the price down. Look at the rest of the market, or see what RTY is doing. Okay, RTY is more shorting going on with RTY. About YM. All right. So typically, NQ and RTY has similar price action from the open. That's how it usually works. Like NQ and RTY usually trade together, and when they're not all trading together, we usually see similar price action with RTY, you know, versus NQ, and then with YM versus ES. Those pairs usually trade together, and that's kind of what we're seeing in this market this morning. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but we're just looking for similarities. I think RTY had the most sell-off, or stronger selling. It's about the same. Currently holding a range at PR -4. right here at, I call that 258. 258 range is where we got buyers hanging out, where I'm clicking around too much. Back down to the power range low, back down to that low where we had buyers sitting at, and we still got some more buyers sitting there. They're just battling this out right now. Does look like our shorts have the upper hand as of right now. As you can probably tell, I'm not even looking for a trade at this point. I am expecting this sell off, which is why I wasn't trying to be too aggressive on the trade that I took earlier. So we hold below the power range low. The next level that I'll be looking at as a kind of a key level is our balance level down here at 780. I do have some power range levels between that, and we do have structure, price structure, as well as a volume profile structure in between these two the key levels that I'm looking at. So this range I got my eye on, it has a high of 832.5 and a low of 780.25. Which is based off the balance level primarily, and then also our indicators, 200, the VWAP, and price structure. And just as a strategy tip, you don't have to have all of these different indicators on your charts for your strategy. You can simply, honestly, price action and structure is enough to develop a strategy around. It just depends on what you want, but what I would recommend is to keep it as simple as you possibly can if you're still looking for a strategy, or you need help with your strategy. Just keep it simple. Those that I've seen do the best with the markets have very simple strategies. They use very few indicators. I even feel like sometimes I have too many indicators on my chart, but I've become accustomed to these indicators. I don't like use them strictly. The main thing that I look at is structure and price action, and then my levels, the power range, the balance levels, and then the indicators is the lowest on the list of the things that I look at. But they do serve a purpose. These are popular indicators that a lot of traders use, and a lot of institutions and market makers take advantage of. And that's basically the way I'm looking at it. I'm just looking at it from a market sentiment type of thing of what are levels that traders are likely to do something at, and that's what I'm using the indicators for. So we are taking this lower. Buyers still putting up a fight. Seeing the reaction at this volume profile, plus we got structure there. And the volume profile and the structure are kind of one and the same. So like the structure or the volume that creates this volume profile also creates the structure in a sense. But it doesn't always have to. So you can have a level to where you see, what do you call this? This is called the valley. Whatever. Well, you see a spike in the volume profile, and the price will not necessarily respect that. You could trade through it, and it won't create structure there. But usually, you do see structure in the same levels where you see a significant change in the volume profile. Alright, so we did have more buyers coming right there, taking us back up to one of the levels that I'm looking, that I'm keeping an eye on. Play a little DJ this morning. So I'm kind of looking at the 1 minute as well to kind of zoom into this price action and see what picture is being painted. Still got a lot of sellers sitting right there at one of the levels, at the high of this range that I'm looking at. ES really isn't doing much at all. Also kind of stuck in this range. Need to fire my DJ because I was supposed to do a transition there. That'll kind of be the hook section at the bridge. Need to fire the DJ. Alright, so trying to take this price down lower. Testing our buyers. That was a horrible transition, but it's all good. I want to change the playlist up. So we got keeping price in the small range. Not really doing much of anything. Look at they broke ES out into new highs. Yep. It's not the session high. So the session high, let me see. This other, I got two lines sitting right there. I'm not sure what that line is, but it shouldn't be. I'm not sure what that is, but the session high is also at our power range high. Which we're now starting to see some sellers jump in at that level. And at the same time, NQ is taking another dip. That first 30-minute period, if you're looking at that from a TPO, that is the A period. We had 111 contracts traded for MNQ, which is it's kind of normal. Most of that went to selling. Again, we got buyers still in this market trying to push this price back up higher. Not so mechanical this week, to start this week, as we saw last week. They flipped this price in the middle of this volume from the volume profile here. Keep forgetting that y'all see this monitor, not the other one. Even you look at the same chart. They just kind of were able to take the price higher, not necessarily to a particular like structure or anything like that. So they just loaded in down there, brought it back up, brought it back to our 200 if we're using that as the mean. So we're just chopping price in these small little ranges as we take it to the next level. They are not holding the ranges long at all this morning. For the morning session of the New York Stock Exchange. some reason I'm not seeing my point of control on this chart. But we do have a point of control. The point of control is changed to, is this 820? Probably because of how I have it scaled. Okay. Alright, so once I fix the scale on the monitor that I'm looking at, then I can see it. Another push short. Again, I'm still keeping my eye on the 780 level. This should definitely continue to sell off. Just based off the picture that they painted. So if it doesn't, that means we will have some shorts trapped from those that were looking to go short there, just off of that momentum. There, we got buyers that are trying to push this back up, put pressure on our new shorts. This has a lot of reasons to hold. We do have structure there off this pivot. This takes me in the range where I'll be looking for a trend reversal based off the power range, or power range trend reversal. This is why I'll be looking to make that judgment and see if we hold this level or if we start to flip short in terms of. So right now we have, structurally, we are trading bearish. We have bearish structure, bearish price action. We got lower lows, lower highs. Kind of use the power range as a way to confirm if it's, I don't really like, doing confirmations, but I kind of use the power range as a way to confirm if we're going to continue in that direction or not. So right now they're taking the price back higher, back into our power range. So if I'm going to grade this trend based on strictly on the power range, I would grade it neutral at this point. Still got this battle between the buyers and sellers. Very likely that there are some shorts that are trapped in this buy up here. But we should also have some selling right in this range, right in the, in the meat of the power range, in the middle of the power range. And even higher, like within this whole range so far that we've established in that first 30 minutes. There should be there's a lot of reasons to see some selling within this range at various levels. And if you didn't know already, I've officially decided to not take any more trades for this morning session. So I don't know what the rest of that probably won't happen. It's probably wishful thinking on my part, but It'd be nice if I could come back and trade the afternoon session. I doubt that's gonna be able to happen, but we shall see. We shall see it, how thou to work it. Just to do a quick little hindsight capital, there were a few opportunities to take advantage of some long positions. I was able to catch one of them for a couple scalps, but it's not as mechanical as it was last week, but we did have opportunities in here. Of course, hindsight capital has 100% accuracy because it already happened. But yeah, we could have used our levels depending on what our strategy. Well, my strategy, I could have used my levels, and I could have taken a couple trades and probably ended up, with a bunch of scalps. So with all that being said, wasn't really. I feel like the one trade that I did take was the only real trade for me to take. Not necessarily the ideal price action for the way that I like to trade. I like for them to either hold the price in a range, kind of like what we saw in the pre-market right here, or for there to be a trend with the trend, if that makes sense. So if let's say if we had a dip here, and then we continue to, if it bounced there and it continued to trade higher, I like that kind of price action. But kind of where we have this choppiness, not necessarily going with the trend, trying to fight against the trend, this is what I call a battle zone. It's not my ideal situation to trade in. Alright, so with all that being said, before my trigger finger starts to get too itchy and I want to take another trade, I'm going to go ahead and shut the shop down. Appreciate everybody for coming through. And I will see everyone tomorrow for the squawk. Trade it easy.